Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 Barretts Elementary School Pickleball Championships video brought to you by the Parkway School District and Barretts Elementary School. My name is Mr. Skibby, your guide for all things pickleball in 2022. My teaching partner, Mrs. Russell, and I put on a round-robin event for our 4th and 5th graders for our pickleball unit, culminating in this championship event, where the top 5 4th grade and top 5 5th grade teams from their classes will duke it out in pickleball glory for 2022. Let's take a look at those top 5 teams in the brackets. Our 4 and 5 seed matchup, Allie and Luella versus Ellie and Graceland, will prove to be a great matchup, and it will also happen to be our girls' championship winner for 2022 in 4th grade. But the winner of that will have to face off against the undefeated Carson and Graham team, but Cam will be taking over for Carson, who is out sick for the championships. That 2 versus 3 seed matchup is going to be exciting. Mason and Tommy have not lost. The only game that James and Chase lost in the round robin was to Mason and Tommy. So this will be a very interesting matchup to see if James and Chase can finally get over the hump. A lot of interesting matchups here, as Charlie and Oliver are the favorites in 5th grade. So that Miriam Amari versus Graham and Bella 4 and 5 seed matchup, it's going to be a tough one when they get to the second round, but both those teams can put up a fight against the best of them. Jack and Ryan versus Lucas and Walter at 2 and 3 will be very interesting as well, as both teams have lost either 0 or 1 game in their round robin play. Will it be enough to defeat the number 1 seed though? And don't forget, after both 4th and 5th grade matchups, the champions get to face off against Mrs. Russell and Mr. Skibby. Out of all the teams you'll witness today, the clear favorites to win their division are Oliver and Charlie from 5th grade. I had the pleasure of sitting down with them for an interview for all things pickleball and their strategy behind going into this year's championship.
I'm here with Oliver and Charlie, the number 1 seeds heading into the 5th grade Pickleball Championships, the first year at Barretts Elementary School. Boys, how are we feeling today?
We want to win, and we want to work together on a team.
Work together as a team, good strategy. And Oliver, what's your mindset heading in? Are you excited to get this started?
We are really excited for being the pickleball first seed for this year.
Yes, indeed. Well, boys, good luck in the championship, and we'll be seeing you shortly.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Oliver and Charlie. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this started. Your 4th grade Pickleball Championships is next. First matchup here in the 4th grade Pickleball Championships, Allie and Luella versus Ellie and Graceland. And Ellie will get us started with a serve. And this was a close matchup all the way around. You'll see the score at the end, but look at this play by Ellie to get the game started. Tries to hit, but then realizes it's in, veers back, and hits a nice hit past Allie there. Serve from Graceland, and Allie gets one over the net, hits it and goes, and the pickleball gods give, and they also taketh, because Graceland does it right back at Allie. And just like that, it goes back and forth again. Graceland with a serve to Allie. Was going to go out of bounds, saved by Graceland. And this is where the game got interesting. Luella loving to use the slam if she could, and strategy called for it. Here's a successful one. A few times missed and got them into a bit of a hole. Here it is trying again and hits Luella in the noggin. Let's see the replay on that one. Right in the forehead, folks. Oh, Luella, ding dong indeed. There it is. The bing right there off the noggin indeed. And here we go, folks. Game point action. Graceland with the serve to Allie. Allie with the serve. Ellie comes back, tries to hit it. Luella again with the slam, but misses and hits her foot. Final score 11-9. Let's head down for an interview with Graceland and Ellie.
I'm here with Ellie and Graceland and their mascot, Audrey. And Ellie and Graceland, you guys made it to the final 5 out of all of 4th grade and were the champions of the girls bracket. How does it feel to win the first ever 4th grade girls championship of pickleball? How does it feel, Graceland?
Good.
Good. And Ellie, were you nervous this morning getting started, or was it just business as usual for you two?
No, I'm nervous.
Nervous, but you guys rose to the occasion, did a fantastic job. So thank you so much for being a part of our championship, and congratulations. We'll see you in 5th grade.
And now, folks, your 2 versus 3 matchup, Tommy and Mason versus James and Chase. And James and Chase coming in as a bit of an underdog, but both these teams playing so well in the regular season. Tommy and Mason getting the scoring started off there after a quick fault from Tommy on the serve. Mr. Skibby steps in there and has Tommy go behind the line. They were all good from that point on as Tommy and Mason went on a bit of a run here as James and Chase just tried to stay in this game. A nice hit from Tommy there on a little drop ball right down past the net. Here comes a serve from Mason, who was serving well all game long. Tommy tries to take over with some slams, but Mason is the one who gets the final word on that one. And it is still no points for James and Chase as they look for anything to get started. A nice dive there from Chase, but just short. Now here's where things started to get a little interesting. A little bit of life for James and Chase as Tommy goes for the slam to kind of seal the deal. But as you can see from the replay, it goes out of bounds. Here it is again, folks. You can clearly see out of bounds indeed as the onlookers look on. And now all of a sudden James and Chase getting their first taste of action with serves here, and they get a nice play here to get our first point. Out it goes. Tommy hits it out again, and there is some life here, but it turns into game point, and they cannot handle Mason's serve. Happened all game long. Final score 11-1. Congratulations to both these teams for making it this far.
I'm here with Mason and Tommy, and Mason, let's start with you. You know, you guys came into this as a 2 seed facing off against a tough James and Chase squad, and you guys beat them 11-1. How's it feel, Mason?
Great.
Great. And Tommy, well, was there any strategy going into this game, or did you guys just kind of stick with what you did last
Play
time?
like practice.
Play like practice. Well, guys, good luck.
Now our 5 versus 1 matchup. We have Cam and Graham, the #1 seed from the regular season. Cam, a last-minute replacement for Carson, who is Graham's teammate throughout the regular season. But Cam came in and was a seamless transition as they dominated all game long. For our next play, let's turn it over to our guest announcer, James. Let's see what we have to say, James, about this next play.
Good hit by Cam. 5-0. Cam and Graham. Oh, wait. Yeah, the serve underhand. Give the ball to Grayson. Graceland serves the ball. Back to Ellie. Up. The ball goes back to Cam and Graham.
Thank you, James, for our guest announcer for the 4th grade Pickleball Championships. Cam continues to serve well for Graham and Cam throughout this Pickleball Championships. Ellie couldn't handle that one. It brings us to game point, and it'll do it right here after the Graham serve. Graceland hits it out of bounds, and the final score, Graham and Cam 11, Graceland Ellie 0.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our championship for 4th grade. First over the left, redo it.
Championship matchup, and as you saw, a nice hit from Mason to get the scoring started. And this one was back and forth as we go, as Tommy gets another point and they take the early lead. But Cam was a dominant force, hitting it so hard from serves to hits from the other side on returns. I mean, it was amazing all the way around as they played together, and back-to-back hits of the body from Mason and Tommy, as Graham and Cam try to get something going again, get this game tied, and now we're moving into a break point, and another incredible hit from Cam. Serve from Graham here, back to Tommy, who returns, tries to get the slam, and does indeed. Nice job, hit from Tommy. Back and forth they went. There were some incredible plays in this. Tommy just misses that one, but later you will see something fantastic. And here we go, folks. Out from Cam is a little too hard, a little too much muscle. Lay off the spinach there, Cam. All right, here it goes. Tommy hits a nice hip break and back, and it was out. Call was out. Tommy and Mason with the point. Graham with another serve. Tommy back over. Back to Graham. Tommy hits it out of bounds this time, and back and forth it continues to hit out of bounds for both these teams, and they're keeping each other in it. Mason keeps it alive. Hits the net. Cam hits it too hard on the backhand there. Here comes a nice play right here. Check this one out, folks. Wow. I mean, that should be on ESPN SportsCenter Top 10. Look at this play again. Instant replay from Tommy. Slow motion there as he gets the hit from Cam. Dives backwards on his forehand. And yes, Cam couldn't handle the hit. Wow, slow motion again for you. Nice play from Tommy there. Yes, that was a great play, but most of this game was them hurting their own teams by hitting it out of bounds like Mason there. I'll turn it over to James for yet another call to end this game.
Oh my gosh, we got some crowd. Let's do the wave, folks. Hey! Okay, next point. The point that if they get the point, Cam and Graham. And they win. Graham, Cam and Graham win the match. Come over here, folks. How do you feel?
Here's the replay for those who couldn't see it. Cam with an incredible serve that hits inside the line. Mason, though, thinks it was out of bounds, but clearly it is in and decides to pick it up, leaving our final score at 11-7 in favor of Graham and Cam. What a run by Mason and Tommy. Let's head down to Graham and Cam for an interview.
Well, boys, it has come to a close. The 4th grade championship is over, and you are the only ones left standing, champions. Graham, you had a partner change. How did it feel, to get this win despite not having your original partner?
Yeah, really.
Felt really good. And Cam, how did it feel? This morning you thought you were out of the tournament, and now you are a champion of 4th grade pickleball. How does that feel?
Feels great.
It feels great. Boys, congratulations. You got a tough task now, all for pride against Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell. Here we go.
Cam and Graham, everyone's cheering. Let's see it, folks. Let's hear it for the final round.
The atmosphere was electric for this game as our 4th grade champions faced off against Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell. Cam with a nice serve that caught Mr. Skibby flat-footed for the first point of the game, 1-0, but that would be their only lead as this turned it over as he hits a double fault into the net. We'll turn it back over to James to announce our next point.
It gets up. Good hit. Oh my. Oh, what a block. Oh, through the legs. Through the legs.
Through the legs indeed, and after that, Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell took over and never looked back. Here was the only slam of the game from Mr. Skibby that made Graham's hair just fly up into the air. But after that, Graham and Cam actually scored 10 of Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell's points, all from hitting it out of bounds themselves. There's one out of bounds into the net, out of bounds again. Here's another one, out of bounds. Into the net from Graham, out of bounds from Cam, and that's how the rest of the game would finish. Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell only scored 1 point on their own. Game point here, and what do you know? Into the net again. And our final score 11-1 as Graham and Cam are winning 1-0. But Skibby and Russell ended the game and defeat the 4th grade champions 11-1. And that'll do it for the 4th grade championships, folks. What an incredible day of play with these 4th graders. Congratulations again goes out to Graham and Cam, and of course we'll mention Carson as well for being that partner with Graham all regular season long. The 4th grade champions will get their plaque hung at Barretts Elementary School. Congratulations to those 3. And also congratulations to Mrs. Russell and Mr. Skibby on defeating the champs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that'll bring us to our 5th grade championships. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's going to be a good one. Into the 5th grade championships we go. 4 seed and 5 seed here as Graham and Bella, the only mixed doubles team in this entire tournament, and it paid off well as Graham and Cam worked so well together throughout the regular season and into the tournament. Coming in as a 5 seed, and take a look at this slam from Bella, just a forced hand right down and right by Miriam and Amari as they take a look at it go by. Here's another slam coming in from Bella right by Miriam again, but sometimes it always didn't work out. Take a look at this one, slams it down into the net. Most of the time, though, it would work for Bella as it went back and forth from there. Miriam and Amari trying to get back into this game. Graham hits it over. Amari gets it over, and there it goes back and forth again. A missed slam there from Bella into the net from Graham, out from Bella, and all of a sudden, they are letting Miriam and Amari back into this game. But it came down to game point, and Bella with a nice serve to get it over here, and then out it goes from Miriam, and that will end it 11-6 final score. Now they did move on, and this next one, unfortunately, due to recording error, the 2 vs 3 matchup was not able to be filmed in regular motion, so you get the entire match here in these 10 seconds, and it was a very close matchup, and I tell you what, it came down. Here's a little bit of game point if you can see the choppiness as it went, but Ryan and Jack move on, beating Lucas and Walter 11-8. Now we get our first look at the 1 seed, the heavy favorites for the 5th grade championships, Charlie and Oliver facing off against the 5 seed Graham and Bella. And I tell you what, this was maybe the match of the day. I mean, it was close, back and forth action. And here we go, Bella with a beautiful hit that trips up Oliver, and they take it. Here's the replay again. They take back the serve. A nice job from Bella. No fear of the net. Later on in the matchup, you can see Charlie and Oliver doing what they do best, playing that good defense. Here's another one straight back from Graham. Hits it over. Oliver trying to take control, and there it is again, that good defense hitting Charlie in the foot, but he did step out of bounds before it hit him. Again, that's that great mindset for this game. A nice play from Charlie there. That's why they're the 1 seed, folks, but it got close. You know, despite back and forth action, Graham and Bella almost looked seemingly out of it, continuing to hit it out over and over again, but it wasn't over yet. A nice serve there again from Charlie. Charlie tries to get a point on and does with a nice hit there. Oliver now takes control back and forth. Charlie with a good hit. Bella, there it goes again, and out it goes, and almost kind of turning the tide here as we continue to see a change over in a strategy from both teams. And just like that, it goes over. Graham with a nice point, and it was out city for Charlie and Oliver, continuing to hit the ball out and getting them back in this game. It got so close, it was tied at one point, and ladies and gentlemen, we might go to overtime here. And it was close enough that on this play, it changed everything. If Graham lets this ball go, there's a better chance that it could be their turn, but he hits it in and out. Oh my gosh, folks. And that makes game point for Oliver. To Bella, Charlie, back to Bella, who goes out, and the game ends 11-9. A Cinderella run for Graham and Bella. We thought that was going to be the game of the tournament, and then the finals happened. Jack and Ryan versus Charlie and Oliver, the 1 seed versus the 2 seed. And this one, folks, was a little bit of extra pickleball, so stay tuned. Comes over, that was an out point actually, so Jack and Ryan took over early, but again, this was back and forth action. Nobody really got points for the first couple of hits because they just kept trading serves over and over. I mean, look at the skill in both of these teams play. They're so close to hitting the net. There's such good strokes from forehand, backhand, dives, making sure they're making drop balls, and back and forth they went without even getting any points for so long. Oliver and Charlie have always been good about playing defense, but Jack and Ryan really took it over, and there's a huge hit from Charlie. Take a look at this instant replay that really started the path for them, and they take a 4-2 lead here. As we continue on in the game, back and forth it goes, and a lot of these could have gone out, but they were saved. It's that split-second decision that they have to make. Out it goes, Charlie and Oliver with another point. It seemed like Jack and Ryan were done. It seemed like this game was going to be over. Look at the pumped up face right here. Here's that let's go from Charlie. He is pumped up. They've taken the lead back and they are rolling. Another point there for Charlie and Oliver. Oliver on the serve. Here's Charlie with a nice hit. Hits the net, but they get it back over. Back and forth action. And all of a sudden, Jack and Ryan take a little bit more of a momentum swing and start to do some good with it. A nice hit there, and instant replay will show indeed it hits just inside the line. Jack and Ryan continue to go. This is game point at 10-4, folks, but Charlie and Oliver hit it into the net, and the game continues. Out all of a sudden. Out again all of a sudden. Here's another one. Charlie hits it out. Jack and Ryan with another point. Oliver into the net. Charlie into the net, and all of a sudden, folks, it switches to the point. I mean, look at these reactions here from Jack. Even he can't believe what is happening in this game point comeback. So guess what? We head to overtime, folks. Overtime, it is 10-10. Jack and Ryan had chances to win this game. Oliver and Charlie had so many chances to walk away and win this game. And now it is game point for Jack and Ryan, 11-10. But it's not over yet, folks, because Oliver and Charlie get the point and they get the serve back. Continuing to go back and forth in this incredible thriller of a matchup. They get another point, and we are tied again at 11-11. Later on, it's game point 12-11. And what happens, folks? I'm sure you can guess it. We're going to more. We're playing to 14 at least, and that's indeed what happened. Here's a nice play from Charlie, but inbounds as Oliver couldn't handle it. Jack and Ryan game point 13-12, and that'll do it. Oliver hits it out. The unprecedented comeback, down 10-4, and they win 14-12. Unbelievable.
I'm here with Jack and Ryan, the first annual 5th grade champions of the pickleball tournament here at Barretts Elementary School. Jack, we'll start with you. I mean, what a performance. You were the 2 seed and you came away with the championship. How did it feel to be the first annual winners?
It felt really good. I don't think anybody expected us to win, so that's probably why it felt really good.
Awesome, and it was a very close game, Ryan. You know, was there any strategy going into today, or was it just kind of like par for the course, business as usual for the two of you after your round robin?
Just kind of remembering to forget about the audience.
Oh, no, remember we tried to hit it low so they couldn't spike it?
Yeah.
To like not get them to be able to spike it, do hard hits.
Very good, you know, keeping it low and also forgetting the audience. That's a key thing too, you know. Sometimes maybe the audience was stacked against you, but you guys persevered and came through. Congratulations on the first ever 5th grade championship, boys.
Thank you.
But the fun wasn't over yet, because the 5th grade champs faced off against Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell. And Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell take it back quickly, but Mrs. Russell all game long has some double faults. Here's that first one that you'll see there, and it'll come into play for the rest of the game. Mr. Skibby gets a nice hit here on it, and then a slam down past Jack, stayed out of the kitchen to do it. And then a nice play from Ryan here, getting it almost out of bounds. Mrs. Russell tries to keep it in bounds, but a nice play there. A great serve from Jack, but couldn't handle the return from a nice hit from Mrs. Russell. Another double fault there as Jack and Ryan get back the serve. And a nice return from Mrs. Russell there. Take a look at this ace from Mrs. Russell here. Very nice ace, but then Mr. Skibby follows it up with this later on, hitting it with his hand, not the paddle. Can't do that, Mr. Skibby. Ryan Zimmerman with the serve here, and it comes over. Ryan back into Mr. Skibby, and Mr. Skibby will take the slam on Jack. Another double fault from Mrs. Russell. Jack and Ryan will take over. Jack with a hit here on the serve, and Mr. Skibby dives backwards. Ryan continued to hit it into Mr. Skibby, and Mr. Skibby into the net. It goes for a point. Now Ryan with a serve. Mrs. Russell tries to slam it home, but the call is out. They keep possession, and the comeback is mounting, but out of bounds it goes, and Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell will take over. Game point for Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell, and it is back and forth action, trying to keep it alive. Mrs. Russell hits it, and then a slam from Mr. Skibby will do it. Here's the instant replay, game point, and that'll end it. Final score for you all here. Mr. Skibby and Mrs. Russell 11, Jack and Ryan 9 in a close matchup. What an incredible tournament all day long. And that'll do it here, folks, at Barretts Elementary School for the first annual Pickleball Championships 2022. My name is Mr. Skibby. On behalf of Mrs. Russell and I, it has been a pleasure to put on this event for all of our 4th and 5th graders. We want to thank all of our competitors and spectators and all the teachers that came out to watch. Congratulations goes out again to all of our top 5 teams that made it to this year's championship bracket. And our winners this year, Jack and Ryan from 5th grade and Carson, Cam, and Graham from 4th grade. Congratulations. We'll see you next year, folks. Maybe somebody will beat Mrs. Russell and Mr. Skibby then. Signing off.